Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. I first became aware of today's guest about 4 years ago when he wrote a book, and I don't know why it's taken me so long to meet him and have him on the show. Well, actually, there wasn't a show 4 years ago, but I also became aware of him again recently when I got his book about five-star salads. And, eating salad, whether you're vegan or not vegan or raw or not raw, eating salads is so important. All the doctors that I talk to say that we need to eat a large salad every day, the size of our head. But they don't always say it has to be the size of our head. But we need to find ways to eat more salads. And he has a very beautiful book, and he's going to be creating what he calls his five-star salad with two very delicious dressings that are low fat and made from whole foods. Please welcome to the show, Matt Bennett.
Hello.
There you go. You went away from it. That is a beautiful setup and a beautiful salad bowl.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I had a little technical difficulties there, but we're good to go. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's great. Well, I can't wait to hear you. Would you like to tell a little bit about your story first or jump right into the salad? I'm sure your recipe is probably not going to take that long because it looks like you did all the prep.
Yeah, we're pretty much good to go here. So yeah, I'd be happy to get into my story.
Yeah. So you're in Minneapolis, which isn't a place that I think is of having a lot of people that follow a whole food plant-based diet that's basically raw. It's kind of cold there.
It is kind of cold here. It's nice for about 4 months out there. And then, the other 8 months are a little sketchy, but yeah, it gets pretty cold. And I'm actually just south of Minneapolis. But yeah, so I grew up in this area as well. Pretty much lived in southern Minnesota my whole life. And, I grew up with quite a few health conditions, pretty common, I think, that most people experience, like asthma, allergies, eczema, really dry skin, things like that. As I got a little bit older, I started to deal with a little more like depression and just fatigue and things like that. But the thing that really, and I guess I'll step back even just a little bit further. So the way that like my diet and lifestyle typically was as a kid was, it was standard American diet. But my mom did believe that you are what you eat. I know she always used to say that. And so she made a lot of home cooked meals. So it was standard American, but it was still whole foods, or not whole foods, but home cooked meals for the most part. Still a lot of meat, a lot of eggs, dairy, canned and frozen foods, things like that. And so it wasn't until I got into my later teens when I started to experience some hair loss. And this was like the scariest thing for me. I was like super terrified. I didn't want to lose my hair. And so I jumped on the internet, started searching ways to, stop hair loss and, regrow hair. And what I came up with was to eat a lot more protein and also eat some leafy greens like spinach. So that was, something that I already had kind of a connection with, was that the food impacts the way that your body is, the way that your health, is. And so I, started eating, a lot more of those foods. And I was already eating, I would say probably a pretty high protein diet. And so I started eating a lot more, burgers and steak and eggs. But I was also eating a lot more spinach salads. I started making these big, massive salads with a lot of chicken in it, a lot of cheese and ranch and things like that. And so, it's funny, my college roommates would always give me a hard time because they would, call me Mr. Healthy for, eating a lot of big salads and making a lot of my food at home. So I thought that was kind of funny. And now they actually, years later, they've reached out to me on social media asking for advice on how to, incorporate more fruits and vegetables into their diet. And they ask about veganism. So that's really cool. But yeah, so that was kind of my entryway into, just looking for answers on how to be healthier. And like I said, I was always, I was kind of taught that you are what you eat. And so I would try to be healthy, within the frame, the narrow understanding of health that I had. And so I would get like vitamin waters and V8 and a lot of the juices that promoted, high vitamin levels, things like that. And I would get wheat bread instead of white bread, and turkey burgers instead of regular hamburgers. So I was on the path, but I was just on the, I was going the right direction. I was just on the wrong path, I guess. So then in my 20s, there was a lot of different things that were kind of pushing me in the same direction, including my hair loss, including anxiety and depression and things like this, where I was just always seeking answers for these things that I just felt weren't right within me. And so I came across a couple channels on YouTube where I started to kind of be exposed to this information of raw foods specifically, and just detoxification. And that was the Life Regenerator. Most people in the raw community are going to know who the Life Regenerator is, Dan McDonald. And he talked a lot about juicing and raw foods and detoxification and things like that. And I know one of your guests previously, John Kohler, he was another big influence on me. Him and Dan were kind of just the two most inspirational people that I came across that really taught me about raw foods. And then a Dr. Robert Morse on YouTube as well. So just getting the experience, or getting the knowledge and the practical experience from those three. And then I branched out to other names in the raw food community, like Doug Graham and some of the others, like Dr. Rick and Carandina. So I educated myself from people like this that had been doing it for a long time. And so as I was doing that, I actually came across an internet radio station program that was talking about juice fasting. And so for some reason, I thought that was a good thing that I wanted to try out. And so I was going to do just like a couple days on fresh pressed juices. And I ended up going 10 days. And so I lost a bunch of weight. My toxic thinking that I had kind of fallen into had really cleared up. Brain fog type issues had cleared up. So I was just feeling amazing. My energy was great. And I thought if I wasn't eating the high protein diet that I had been taught that I needed to eat in order to feel healthy and to, be healthy, I thought that was interesting. And so I continued down this road of learning about whole foods and specifically raw foods is really what I was drawn to. And yeah, pretty much every condition that I grew up with, the asthma, the eczema, the toxic thinking, that all, went away the longer I stayed on the raw foods. And so, yeah, that's pretty much, my story in a nutshell.
That's amazing. I'm so in awe of the people that can do the raw like you guys. I tried it, and mainly because I'm always cold, but it just seems that the people that do it really love it, and it really has made a difference in their health.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many people that have experienced some really amazing transformations on this lifestyle. And the thing that I teach is, it's important to eat raw food regardless of which diet you're on. It doesn't have to be 100% raw food or nothing. I teach people to be practical about it. There's not, a lot of people that I come across that are intending to be 100% raw, especially in places like Minnesota. But I teach them to be practical with it and to find a way to just increase as much as they are, as much as practically as possible with their lifestyle. And so they can still feel a lot of the benefits of raw foods, even if they don't go, 100%. So there's room for everybody to increase the amount of raw foods. And so that's just kind of the message that I like to put out there.
I think you're so right. Just eat more fruits and vegetables. The way that you do the raw diet, like John and so many other people you mentioned, like Dr. Doug Ryan, you do it in such a healthful manner, because when I was first exposed to raw, it was actually a very high fat diet. There was a lot of coconut oil, olive oil, nuts, agave, and it was delicious. But I wouldn't say it was healthier than the way I eat now, which is high starch, low fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. And it seems that a lot of people, when they first get into the raw lifestyle, they do tend to lean towards the higher fat, some of the gourmet style recipes. And just that fact is they go to recipes. So when people are really looking for, recipes on the internet for raw food, diet style recipes, the recipes in like restaurants and some of the websites out there, they're trying to attract, people that are just coming from a standard American diet, high fat, high stimulatory foods. And so they kind of try and match that, I think. And so people get kind of stuck in that high fat gourmet style of a diet. And they never really get to experience those really great benefits of lowering the fat and just having a lot of fiber, a lot of phytonutrients, and just, having a low amount of fat. So your blood sugar stays stable and all that.
Right. And that's what I love about the people that do raw healthy in the healthy way. They know about doing low fat. They don't use salt, or they use very little, and they're not using. So it's like we're basically on the same diet. It's just that I had a little starch and cooked vegetables.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
The only thing, and that salad bowl, by the way, is beautiful, and everybody's commenting. Do you remember where you got it?
It's on Amazon. I don't. Do you happen to remember what it's called?
12-inch acacia bowl.
12-inch acacia bowl.
That is beautiful. Absolutely. See, I love salads, Matt, and I always try to do one a day, and I know we should probably do two. They take so long to eat compared to other things. You got to really chew.
Yeah, you do. You do. And I feel like that's just kind of a price we pay for the health that we want. People got to put their priorities in the right places. And the thing that, I like to teach people is that the more you do it, for the prep wise anyways, the more you make these salads, the faster you become at making them. And yeah, it does take me about 30 to 45 minutes to eat one of these salads, but I am more than happy to do that just because I feel the benefits that it gives me. And so, I just kind of, it's not really something I think about anymore, but yeah, in the beginning I kind of had to rearrange how I did things just a little bit, but now I love it. And so I think the more people do it, the more they're going to love it, just like me.
That's what I always loved about working at True North, because they had a 24-hour salad bar with like probably 40 different things. And everything was prepped for you. It made it so enjoyable to eat salads at every meal, even breakfast, because you didn't have to do any shopping or chopping. You just had to do the chewing.
Yeah. Yeah, that would help for sure.
Have you ever used one of the mezzaloones or the uluj? Have you ever had a chopped salad?
No, I haven't. I've heard you talk about it.
I have the Holland bowl. It just makes it easier. It makes it easier to shovel it in,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and the more tools that people can have to make this process faster and easier, the better. So that's awesome.
I listened to a podcast with you yesterday, and it was, you have a really good sense of humor, and you talked about opening the pipes or clearing the pipes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like to start my day out a certain way. And I've kind of come up with a kind of a phrase for it. And that's my detox, my sunrise detox routine, something like that. I'm still working on the title. But I like to start my day in a way that promotes detoxification throughout the rest of my day as best as possible. And so when I wake up, I go through just this certain set of, techniques. And one of them, it's not really a technique, but it's just allowing my body to clean its pipes. So I go have a bowel movement first thing in the morning, and I will gently blow my nose just to get any congestion out that might have accumulated over the night. And then I empty my bladder, of course. And so that's what I call cleaning the pipes. And then I also like to, open up my pores by doing some skin brushing in the morning. That lets my skin breathe. It lets my lymphatic system and circulation get going. And then I like to do a little bit of stretching, and that kind of opens up the joints a little more, gets the circulation going. And I like to do some deep breathing after that to really, again, get everything flowing, get the energy moving through me. And then I like to drink. So then I flush the pipes, really. I flush the system with 32 ounces of distilled water. And then I like to do a little bit of exercise so that I kind of I start sweating and just clean out even more. And so I feel like that's like a perfect way to energize me and give me the focus and just clarity that I need to be productive throughout the day.
I've heard about skin brushing, but I don't know much about it. Does it hurt? How does it feel?
Well, it depends. I've used some brushes that, the bristles were a little too hard and it's a little painful, but if you find the right brush, you just pretty much use any natural brush, like a firm, I think Celine's going to grab mine for me and I'll show you what it looks like. But yeah, it's just a firm bristled brush that you just kind of swipe across your skin, and it helps to exfoliate the skin and remove any dead skin cells. And it's just a really invigorating way to keep your skin clean, and it helps your skin microbiome and just, it has so many other benefits. It just gets your lymph and your blood moving. Thank you. So here's a couple brushes that I've used. This one I don't really use anymore because the bristles were all coming out, but so now I got this one. And so it's firm, but not too firm. So something that if anybody's interested, I would definitely try out. It's a really nice practice to get into.
Do you do it every day? And how long does it take? Because it sounds like your morning routine. You're busy in the morning.
It is, but it's what, it puts me in the right mindset for the rest of the day. So yeah, it takes me like 30 to 45 minutes. And so it's just a nice way to wake me up. But yeah, it really, you can do it as long or as short as you would like. It can take anywhere from just like 2 or 3 minutes to 10 minutes. But it really doesn't take long. You just do it a couple times across your skin, and that's pretty much it.
Amy says, is this done dry? So there's nothing on it, just the brush, right?
Yes, dry skin brushing. Yep. It works really good before a shower. So if you brush everything, then you got your loose skin cells, and then you take a quick shower, it washes it all off. So
I once went to a spa in Los Angeles. I think it might have been called a Korean spa, and they brushed you, and it was kind of weird.
Oh, really?
Cool. Oh, that's funny. That's great. So tell us about some of your books.
Yeah. So, well, first I've got my kids' book here. Oh, sorry. Wrong one. All right, here it is. It was the same one, but for display purposes, we got it back there. So this is my children's kids book that I came out with. It's called Vegan Adventures with Barnyard Friends. I self-published it back in late 2017. And it's just a compilation of short stories about different barnyard animals. And it also has these little fun mazes and word finds and crossword puzzles for the kids to go through. It's got one for each little story. There's a chicken, calf, cow, piglet, sheep, and fish stories in there. So I get up pretty much all the barnyard animals that people typically will eat. And so and then I also show some vibrant vegan kids in here, and they've got their stories in here to talk about what they like about being vegan and their favorite foods and things like that. And I got a couple of recipes in the end of there too. So yeah, it's short stories to kind of give children the perspective from the animal's point of view. And it just shows that animals are individuals, and they have their own wants and desires, and they're no different than our family pets, our dogs and cats. There's really no difference other than how they look on the outside. And so I was really, shocked and disappointed and angry after I watched the documentary Earthlings, that I wasn't aware that all animals were the same, just like my dogs and cats. And so, that really disturbed me. And so I think it's important that we're honest with our children, and we tell them, in a non-graphic way, that, just how animals truly are. And then they can make up the decision, if they want to continue to eat them. And my personal thought is, I don't think many kids are going to continue wanting to consume animals if they know that they are, just like our dogs and cats, and just like, they're individuals. So yeah, that was kind of the thought behind the book, and it's done well. So I hope anybody that is interested will check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I remember once interviewing the dietitian Brenda Davis, and she said that when her son first found out that a hamburger was made out of cow, he actually started crying.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Most kids love, well, one, they love animals, but they also love fruits and vegetables. And it's amazing, when I'm eating a bunch of fruit in front of children, they always want to try it, And so it's just, kids are so naturally drawn to fruits and vegetables, and they're naturally compassionate to animals. And so, it makes sense that, they would be, like Brenda Davis's son, be upset about that. And I was too, when I was 25, when I found out about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice. I'll put a link to the book. Absolutely. That'd be a great book to have like at an animal sanctuary.
Yeah. I've donated some to animal sanctuaries, and they've really liked them.
Nice. But you've written a bunch of recipe books too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've got, so right now I've got mainly salad dressing recipe books. Those are some of the most popular requests that I get, is salad dressing recipes. So I've got a savory salad dressing starter pack. That was my first one. The other ebook I've got is a fat-free salad dressing ebook. And then I just recently came out with kind of the idea of this show is the 5-star salad. And so it teaches people, it gives them the blueprint of how to make a salad that leaves you feeling like you actually ate a meal, rather than, a few leaves with a couple vegetables on there, 100 calories, and you're stuck with cravings and other things after, So those are the three ebooks that I've got available on my website too.
Great, thank you. And I'm sure that everything you have sent me is in the show notes. So I didn't realize you had a salad dressing book that was fat-free. So does that mean it's not made out of nuts or seeds?
Right. Yeah, it's pretty much just, it's based with dried fruits, and other fruits. They're pretty much fruit-based salad dressings.
That sounds great. I don't have that one. That sounds wonderful.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you. So 5-star, when I think of 5-star, I think of hotel, restaurant, the finest.
Yeah. Right. And that's kind of the idea behind the salads too. A lot of the people that I talk to are, they have such a different opinion of what a salad is and how a salad tastes and how satisfying they are than I do. And so I was kind of just thinking, why do I enjoy salads so much when other people that I talk to don't have that same opinion? And so I just kind of started thinking about it. I came up with, 5 common things that I found in my salads that I believe have made them so satisfying to me. And so I just put it into a book, and I kind of feel like, each star. So that's kind of why I like the 5-star analogy. Is most people have like a 0 to 2-star salad. So that's what I'm seeing, is they have maybe 1 or 2 of the different pillars of one of these salads that I enjoy. And so then I can give them more of an idea of what their salad, why it's not satisfying them. I can put like a number to it. So, I'm like, oh, well, that's like a 1-star salad. You've got like 3 leaves of lettuce, and you've got a slice of tomato and maybe some carrots on there. So that really only meets one of the stars. So they have a 1-star salad.
Yeah, gotta have 5. Yeah.
Gotta have 5, yeah. And we'll see why. I think people will really like the 5s. When they make a 5-star salad, I think they'll know.
Great. And you're gonna make one for us today.
I am, yeah.
But you've done some beautiful prep. And you have one of my favorite ingredients right there. I cannot eat a salad and enjoy it if it doesn't have purple cabbage in it.
Yes, purple cabbage is amazing. Not only looks amazing, but it's such a nice addition to the salad. It gives it a little more of a heavier feeling. It gives some of that really nice fiber, and the purple color is really nice. So.
How long do salads last, in your opinion? I find that because I chop them, I have to eat them pretty quickly. Something happens when you cut it; it doesn't last quite as long.
Yeah, I mean, I make mine. Mine pretty much only lasts 30 minutes when I eat them. But I have, when I have leftovers, I mean, I've eaten the same salad the next day and it tastes just as good. Sometimes it even tastes better because it's kind of marinated and everything, and it's still, fresh, and it tastes awesome. So I would say like 1 to 2 days is the top. 2 days is like the tops, I would say, the salad, but I would say try and do it the same day or the day after.
What about the dressings? Will they last a little bit longer in the refrigerator?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So the dressings, they last about 3 to 5 days. So if you want to make like a big batch at one time, that's one convenient way to do it. Just make a big amount, and then you can just take some each day of the week.
That makes sense. Are you going to make the dressing or the salad, or both?
Yeah, I can make both. It goes pretty quick, so I can start whenever you want me to.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, and then I'll see if people have questions in the chat, then I can ask them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so today we are going to be, so first I better go over the pillars quick of what a 5-star salad is. So a 5-star salad, it's got 5 pillars, and you want to hit each one of these pillars in order to really create a satisfying salad, as well as a nutritious salad. This is all about health, and it's about making this diet and this lifestyle sustainable. It's about reducing cravings. All these benefits come from eating more leafy greens and getting in more colors. And so the foundation of the salad is going to be the leafy greens. That's one of the things I see most people lacking in, is leafy green vegetables. And so I say that we should have at least 1 pound of leafy green vegetables in our salad. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much, especially after you've been eating these for a while. So you might have to work your way up to it if you're not used to eating a lot of fiber. But I think you'll find that it's fairly easy to get in 1 pound of leafy greens in your salad. So we've got 1 medium head of romaine here. And we actually already weighed out the romaine and the kale. And this came out to be a little over 1 pound just by itself. So I also include the red cabbage as a leafy green, so that can go towards the weight. And you don't have to be dogmatic about it, but it's just a good number to shoot for, is just 1 pound. And so just to give you the idea of what that looks like, it's about like this. All right. So and one thing that really makes salad prep much easier for people is having the right tools. You want to have a nice big cutting board. You want to have nice big bowls. You want to have fresh ingredients, things like that are going to make the experience so much better. Just gonna...
I like big bowls, and I cannot lie.
I'm with you. All right. And there's tools you can use, like Chef AJ mentioned, that you can just have it in the bowl and you just cut it that way. You can also use a food processor to pulse and chop up your salads. I like to just pretty much use my knife, but there's a lot of different little tricks that you can use.
And you're a lefty.
I am a lefty, yeah.
Carrie's saying she loves your smokehouse dressing.
Oh, thank you. We're going to make that today. So when I make my salads, another little tip is to, cut it pretty fine. I like cutting my leafy greens really finely. It just makes it easier to eat, and I think more enjoyable. Okay.
You eat a salad at both meals, Matt? Or maybe 3 meals. Is it every meal, 1 meal, 2 meals?
So I pretty much eat 1 big salad a day. Otherwise, I'm pretty much eating fruit the rest of the day. So I start my day off with a nice big smoothie. And that's got bananas and some leafy greens, maybe an herb like cilantro or something. And maybe like a teaspoon of chia seeds for a little boost of omega-3s. And so that usually lasts me about 4 hours or so until I'm hungry again after that. And then I'll have, recently I've been eating a lot of oranges. So my lunch will be 5 oranges, 5 nice big navel oranges. And then a little bowl of some sprouts. So I've been, like many people that have, in this community have really caught the Doug Evans sprout fever. So everybody's sprouting now. And I've sprouted over the years, but yeah, Doug really inspired me to get back into it, even more. And so I've been really embracing the sprouts lately. And so I like to have sprouts. Sometimes I'll put sprouts in my smoothie as well for my breakfast. And so, yeah, I'm pretty much eating sprouts maybe with every single meal in the day. I'll put alfalfa sprouts in my smoothie. And then I'll have pea or lentil sprouts with my lunch. And then I'll put a bunch of sprouts in my salads as well. So that's kind of how I eat it. I pretty much have a big smoothie for breakfast every single day. Then I'll have a fruit meal like oranges or whatever else is in season or, available. And then I'll have this big, massive salad to finish the day.
It sounds good. I just want to read a nice comment. and ring the bell to thank Sherry Likes Fruit for her super chat donation. She said, thank you so much for having on Matt. He's amazing, so inspiring on my journey. Love when you have on the raw vegans. Look forward to Eva Loves Raw and Ms. Fit Vegan for future shows. Well, if you like raw, I've got 2 weeks this year that is going to be dedicated just to raw food educators. There's, I think, 1 5-day week in July where Dr. Doug Graham is leading the charge, and he picked out the 4 guests. And then in October, we're going to have like 9 days of all raw. So we've got something for everybody on Chef AJ Live. Thank you so much, Sherry, for your donation.
Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, that's awesome. It's great to hear. Now, another tip is I like to leave in the stem. A lot of people will de-stem their kale and some other greens, but the stem actually has the highest concentration of nitrates. And so nitrates get converted by bacteria in our mouths into nitrites, and then in the stomach, it gets converted to nitric oxide. And so the more nitric oxide we have, the better circulation we're going to have, and it has a whole lot of other benefits in it with it. And so I like to keep the stem in there to help boost the nitrate level in my foods.
Very nice. I missed a question about skin brushing from Eva. She says, does it disrupt your skin microbiome?
No, I think it actually benefits the skin microbiome because the dead skin cells, from what I've learned, is that they're acidic, and so you can actually, it's not as good to have just a bunch of dead skin on your on the top of your skin. So if you get off those dead skin cells, it just benefits the microbiome, and it allows your pores to breathe better. It allows lymphatic, waste to come out of your system easier. And so, yeah, I've only experienced positive things from doing it. So
nice. Well, we'll have a dermatologist on, plant-based dermatologist on July 10th, Perfect. I think, so we can ask her what she thinks about it.
Yeah.
Chris says, can a plant-based diet cure my rosacea?
Well, I have heard stories. I've never, I don't know anybody that has done that, but I've heard a lot of stories of people with rosacea that have improved dramatically.
Instagrammer Rosie Heals killed her rosacea.
Oh, yeah, Rosie Heals on Instagram is somebody that has cleared up their rosacea. So
through a raw diet.
Yeah, through a raw diet. So you could check them out.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it's always possible.
Yeah.
What do you got to lose?
Okay. So now we've got, what's that? Cabbage. Yeah. So we've got our cabbage left here.
I love purple, and I've actually put purple and green in. I love them both.
Yeah, that reminds me. So moving on to the other pillars of the 5-star salad. So we've got the 1 pound of leafy greens. Another pillar is to have at least one of those leafy greens to be a cruciferous vegetable, like kale or cabbage or bok choy, collards. Any one of those, they tend to be a little higher in caloric density. So like kale has something like 3 times the amount of calories as lettuce or romaine. And so it boosts up, it gives you a little more of a full feeling, a heavier feeling. And also they're just so dense in nutrients, especially like isothiocyanates, that are so beneficial in the body. And so including at least some, so I recommend having multiple types of greens in your salad. But having one of those being cruciferous so that you get those health benefits, as well as you get just that mouthfeel, that heavier feeling while you're eating it.
We should have you just come on and show us your dry brushing routine because we have so many questions about it. There's another one from Mandy. Do you do it before or after exercising? And will it work if you've exercised already and your skin is a bit sweaty?
So I always do it before I exercise, just because, again, it's going to open up the pores. It's going to allow me, when I do exercise after that, it's going to allow me to sweat better. And it's just really invigorating. It really kind of wakes me up. But if you're already sweaty, you still could do it, but I would maybe try and like dry off a little bit, or wait until your skin is more dry. It just works better when everything is dry for that brush to work on exfoliating the skin. So I mean, you could give it a try, but I would recommend being as dry as possible.
Makes sense.
Okay.
How do you reach like your back and other areas?
Well, that can be difficult. So the one, you can get one with a long handle, and that's, that helps a lot. If you've got one like this, I get where I can get, but it's kind of difficult to get everywhere. So you just got to do the best you can. Okay, so now the next pillar. So we've got the 1 pound of leafy greens. We've got the cruciferous vegetable in there. Now we also want to have at least one leafy green herb. So cilantro, parsley. So we've got cilantro here. And so I think you can do cilantro, parsley, dill, basil, any of the herbs that you like. I just think having
Have you ever had mint in a salad? I love putting mint in.
Oh, mint. I haven't actually put it in my salads, but that would be really good.
So good. Trust me, it's really good.
Cool. I'll make one with those soon. Yeah, so that's going to add just a lot of flavor and a lot of nutrition. And so I think having the herb in there, it just brings it to the next level. It's just so nice to have a little bit of fresh herb in with the salad. Just makes it so much more enjoyable. The fourth pillar is to have at least 5 different colors in your salad. So you want to have the greens, the purples, the reds, the oranges, the whites from the mushrooms or the browns. You want to get at least 5 different colors in your diet. The colors are the phytonutrients, the polyphenols, the antioxidant properties of those plants. And those are what we really need to load up on to help our immune system, to help our gut microbiome, to help our brain function, just to liven us up. It's literally converted sunshine. Each different color is a different spectrum of the sun. And so I think it's just super important to get as many colors in the diet as possible. And I think that just equates to a more colorful life. So colors are the key here. So you want to at least have 5 different colors. All right. So we've already got the greens and we got purple here. And I mean, you could even get technical with it. And the different leafy greens have different shades of green. So, that can play into it. But if you can do some of the reds and the oranges, those are really powerful colors. So we've got some red bell pepper here.
Someone's saying that dry brushing also stimulates the immune system, the lymphatic system.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, a lot of people focus on the blood, but the lymphatic system is equally important to make sure you're keeping healthy. And so, you know, keeping your eliminative pathways open is important. That's the colon, the skin, the kidneys, the lungs, and the bladder, or the kidneys. And so you want to make sure you're keeping your eliminative organs working properly so that we can be getting rid of the waste products as they are created, you know, just from daily living and from just our, you know, polluted environment. Something that's just really important. And a low-fat, plant-based diet is great for improving the condition of the lymphatic system. All that hydration and fiber. So. All right, so now we're gonna put in, we've got here some freshly sprouted, we've got yellow peas, dun peas, and it looks like, what are those? What are the other ones?
What?
The other sprouts?
Mung beans and peas.
Mung beans, yeah. So we got mung beans and some peas. So we're gonna put those in. Our purple.
Yeah, everybody, you should really sell those bowls because everybody loves it.
I should contact the person that makes it, the company, see if I can get an affiliate code.
Jeffrey's asking, mushrooms need to be cooked, right?
So from what I have read, the agarotine in mushrooms is actually depleted from refrigeration and just from the time that it's picked, the storage time it goes down. You know, whatever somebody's comfortable with doing, that's what I promote they do. I feel comfortable eating the mushrooms raw because it's not just through cooking that we get rid of that toxin in there. But if you feel safer, you know, doing steamed mushrooms, I think that's just as good. So whichever, you know, people, I know Dr. Furman promotes, you know, cooking them for sure. And so, yeah, it's whatever, I just say whatever you're comfortable with doing.
People are asking, is it safe to have vinegar in a wooden salad bowl?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't really.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess we use mustard sometimes. I don't know if that's enough to really cause issues, but I'm not actually sure on that.
Okay. I use my bowl just for like having the salad, but then I put it in a different bowl when I eat it, like a glass, not, you know, china or whatever.
Oh,
I don't
sure.
eat out of the wood. I don't eat out of my bowl.
Okay. Yeah, that's what Celine does too. So I eat it right out of here. Less dishes for me.
Makes sense.
All right. Yeah. All right. So now we've got the tomatoes. Just gonna toss these in. Kind of a lot of tomatoes here.
What does a raw fooder do with the oven?
Well, not everybody that lives here is a raw fooder, so it gets used, but you can also, I mean, I don't know, we don't use it that often.
Store things.
Yeah, we store things, or, you know, if somebody wants to use it, they can use it, but it's kind of just there for looks.
Well, I swear the cleanup's got to be a lot easier on a raw food diet.
Yeah, it's so simple. It takes me literally like less than 5 minutes to clean up everything. So it's pretty simple. And that's one of the great things about eating more raw foods is that, you know, you don't have to scrub the pans. You don't have to, you don't have to use a lot of pans. You just pretty much need a good cutting board, a good knife, a nice big bowl, and you're pretty much set. So, and a blender, yeah, maybe a food processor.
And a refrigerator, because you got to keep those fresh.
Right, refrigeration, yeah, that's if you have an extra fridge. I know a lot of people get another fridge or a freezer for their garage or something, because when you eat a whole foods plant-based diet, you want to have a lot of produce on hand. And so, yeah, it's good to have a good amount of storage for it all.
You know, when I've worked at True North, you know, they're making salad for like 50 people and they're doing a lot of chopping.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so we've got some celery in there. Now, my carrots, I like to peel with just like a veggie peeler. Just gives it a different texture.
You ever put raw beets in your salad?
Not very often, no. But that is something that crosses my mind every once in a while, because I do try to increase the variation of plants that I consume, and so yeah, and that's one that I could eat more of.
I find that even if people don't like cooked beets, they often will like raw beets.
Yeah, right. So there's the salad so far. It's not as pretty as I like to make them, but that's what we got right now. So do the beets taste much different when they're cooked versus raw?
I think they taste completely different. And so I don't know if it's a texture thing that people don't like cooked beets, but raw beets, they taste almost more carrot-like, but sweeter. They're really good when they're raw.
Okay, yeah, I do like raw beets. So, all right, so we got the salad. Now we're gonna make the dressings. So this is the part where everybody gets excited. These dressings, they can be used for dips. They can be used for your salads. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do with them. You can make dehydrated kale chips with these. So the first dressing we're gonna do is Smokehouse. Let's see, Smokehouse, yeah. So we've got sesame seeds here. So I like to do about 3 tablespoons of seeds for each of my dressings. You can, do 2, or, you can adjust it, whatever your preference is for the amount of fat that you want to consume. So we just toss those in. And ideally, if you can soak them first, that's going to help get out some of that phytic acid, so that they digest a little easier. And so what I like to do, I didn't do that with these, but I like, when I buy my package of seeds, I'll soak the whole bag. I'll just pour them into a big bowl and soak them, and then overnight. And then the next morning, I'll rinse them off, and then I'll put them in the dehydrator and dehydrate them at a low temperature so they're dry. And then I store them in my fridge. And so they're already soaked and they've got the phytic acid removed. And so I can just use them right out of the fridge without having to remember to soak them every time. So next, I'm going to put in 1/2 of a lemon. So I like to put the entire lemon in there after I peel it. I don't just put the juice in. I find that gives it more fiber, and I like to just peel off the yellow and leave more of the white, so that it gets, there's a lot of good nutrients in there. And when you blend it with everything else, you don't even notice that it's in there. Okay, so then we've got some paprika. This is actually the Cowboy Sauce. And here, I don't have the recipe. Okay, so we've got paprika and cayenne. So adjust the cayenne to your preference, you know, depending on how hot you want it. And we've got 1 clove of garlic. And I do 2 Medjool dates. Make sure you take that pit out, otherwise you're gonna not be happy.
Your teeth won't be happy.
Yeah. Okay, so that is all we need for that. The red pepper.
Oh, did you put in your salad?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was so
Okay, so we want to put a little bit.
What's in your refrigerator? People want to know.
There's a lot in the fridge. This is pretty much how it always looks. It's packed full. You know, we put all of our leafy greens in these reusable bags. We just pack them full at the grocery store, and they just leave them in there when they go through the line. And yeah, so we got a lot of greens, a lot of sprouts, some watermelon, you know, smoothies, cantaloupe. So it's usually packed pretty full. All right, so I'm just gonna put in some red bell pepper, 1/3 cup about, and then we just want to do 3/4 cup of water. Now, I like to personally use distilled water. I try to avoid all of those environmental pollutants that are so ubiquitous in our drinking water, and so just to make sure I'm getting out all those chemicals, I always go with distilled water. I actually enjoy the taste of it way better. All right, so about 3/4 cup of water. And then we just blend it up. Okay. And I like to blend as little as possible. The longer you blend, the more oxidation happens, and that reduces flavor as well. All right, so we've got, here you go, if you can see it.
That's a beautiful color.
Yeah, so this is the Cowboy Sauce.
Why is it called Cowboy Sauce?
I don't know. It just kind of popped in my mind, and it's like it's spicy, and it's just it just has that kind of kick, and it just reminded me of cowboy sauce. I don't know why.
Because I've heard of something called cowboy caviar. It's a vegan kind of dish.
Oh, okay.
Maybe such.
Interesting. Maybe they would taste good together. I don't know. All right. So next is smokehouse dressing. So now the thing is, people will realize that a lot of my dressings, you know, the blueprint is pretty consistent. And so it's really easy once you start to get the hang of this to learn how to make your own variations. All right, so now we've got 3 tablespoons of sunflower seeds. We've got 1 clove of garlic. We've got 2 Medjool dates. We've got 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika.
That's my favorite spice, smoked paprika.
It's so good. And then this might be my favorite is the chili flakes, the red chili pepper flakes. I like putting that in a lot of my different dressings. And then we've got 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Okay. All right, so now, and then we just do our 3/4 cup. Oh, sorry, forgot the lemon. All right, so 1/2 of a lemon.
Ever use lime?
I do. I kind of go in phases. Sometimes I really like lime, and then I get to a point where it doesn't taste as good to me, so I switch to lemon. So I just kind of go back and forth with it over time. All right, so let's blend this one up. A dish. I'll just put it in here. There you go.
Yum.
That, yeah, it's got some really good flavor. I really think people will like this. It's no oil, you know. In the smokehouse, there's the Dijon mustard, so that has a little added salt in there, but I try not to add any salt into my dressings or my recipes. But sometimes I'll use something that might have it in it, like mustard, like a little teaspoon of mustard or something like that. So if somebody is avoiding all salt completely, added salt, then maybe leave that part out.
Well, there is a mustard without salt. It's called Westbury.
Oh, okay. Nice. Or I suppose you can make your own too, I suppose.
That's true. Sherry says you soak the sunflower seeds.
Same thing. I didn't soak these, but the same rule applies. You know, I prefer to soak them. I think it's important, especially for people with digestive issues, to soak them. It makes them more digestible and just easier for most people to handle. So I do recommend soaking them if you can.
Great. And Deborah says, do you use both dressings at the same time on your salad?
Nope. This one, the smokehouse is going to go to my brother, and I'm going to have the cowboy sauce on my lunch tonight, or my dinner tonight.
Does your brother eat like you?
He eats more like you, I think. He's more starch based and yeah, but a pretty high level of raw, but I think more, you know, it's like a blend of mine and your style.
Very nice. So he's like a hybrid. Like if you and I had a baby, it would be your brother.
Exactly. I can see that.
Infinite Love and Gratitude says Chipotle chili flakes are even yummier than crushed red pepper flakes. Have you had Chipotle chili flakes?
I have not. No.
They're very good. Very good.
Wow. I'll give it a try.
This is will mustard seeds work as well as mustard that's already been prepared?
I've never tried it, but I would imagine that. Well, if it's not, I think maybe it'll taste a little different if it's just plain mustard seeds, because they have a little more of a bitter taste than when they're, you know, included with the vinegar and the salt. So it probably wouldn't quite taste the same.
Right. Yeah, this is really inspiring, Matt, because I already love salad, but it's just you know, when you see it's just the laziness sometimes, because salads are delicious, whether you are raw or not raw. Everybody needs them. They're delicious. You can customize them. And when you have a delicious dressing like you made, it's like, what can't go wrong. Do you ever put
Yeah.
fruit in your salad, or do you not combine? I love putting a little bit of like grapes or shredded apple in my salad.
Sometimes I do. It's not a regular thing for me, because by the time I get to my salad at night or in the evening, I'm kind of sweet. I'm sweeted out, you know. I'm looking more for savory, and so yeah, I don't typically put fruits in there, but occasionally I do.
But sometimes in what we think of, like for instance, I always have cucumber and tomato in my salad. Technically, those are fruit, but they're not so sweet.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So technically, yeah, I guess I do. I do put cucumbers and tomatoes and zucchini and things like that. So
Yeah. You know what I love to do, but again, we talked a little bit about vinegar before the show. I love to marinate things like thinly sliced onion and cucumber in my balsamic vinegars, and then I put them on my salad. And it's like they're so good.
that sounds delicious. Yeah.
I know, and that's what I'm having for lunch, so I cannot wait. Oh, this is great, man. I'm sorry it's taken so long to get you on the show, but I just pulled up I'm going to buy that book, the fat-free one. I didn't know you had it. That looks fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah. I hope you like it. And I was going to say, so I've got a special deal for you guys, for people that are watching live, to get my, The Art of Salad Mastery. If you go to my website and you put in discount code Chef AJ, from now until 6 o'clock Central Time, so 4 o'clock Pacific Time, you can get The Art of Salad Mastery for free. So you'll get a free ebook if you go and get that from me now. And I know that I've seen a few things, a few notifications pop up on my phone. I'm not sure if anybody actually bought the Art of Salad Mastery ebook, but if they did, before I said this, just send me an email and I can get you a refund. So
That is incredible. I had no idea. What a surprise. That is incredibly generous, guys, but come on, get on it right away. Unfortunately, a lot more people will see this in the replay, but it is what it is.
Sure.
So this is the benefit of watching live.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because sometimes we do giveaways on the show. I didn't know about this one, but that's the benefit of having a loyal audience that watches live. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much.
Of course, you're welcome.
Nice. Oh, and Sherry again. Wow. Do you know Sherry likes fruit?
I do know Sherry. Yeah, we're friends.
Well, she likes you too. Thank you so much, Sherry. That is so
Thank
kind
you.
of you.
Thank
The
you, Sherry.
website, so if you guys are watching on the Facebook, please hop over to YouTube, because the website, everything is there in the show notes. Unfortunately, we have many more people watching on YouTube, because that's where the chat is. So Facebook, guys, hop over to YouTube. You can see the show notes. You can get that free ebook. That was so nice. Everybody's saying that is so awesome, Matt. That is so nice. See, because he really wants you guys to eat more salads, and he knows if you enjoy them, you'll eat them.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it's so important. It's like one of the most important things for people to sustain a plant-based diet for the long term, is getting in enough leafy green vegetables. They're so full of minerals and phytonutrients that it really gives us a lot of the nutrition that our body craves. And so for me, it's been a lifesaver.
That's great. So what's next on the agenda for you?
Well, I've been working the last few years on a new book, and this is a book that I'm going to hopefully get published by a publisher. I'm going to actually contact you had a publisher on your show, like I think a few months ago or something.
Yes, and it's so funny. Yes, Bob Hopfizel from Bob Publishing Company.
Yeah. So I'm going to reach out to them and just kind of get an idea of how that would work. I didn't do anything like that for my children's book, but I might end up seeing if maybe I can just get this published as well. But yeah, I've got a new book that I've been working on for a few years. And it's going to be basically a guide for people to learn how to make this diet, the raw vegan whole foods, healthy version, a sustainable, practical, and enjoyable way to eat. And it's going to have a bunch of recipes. It's going to have just, a lot of education in it. It's going to have my story, what I went through, how I, kind of implemented things over time and what's worked the best for me. And then, yeah, so it's just going to be like another one of the, I'm hoping it's going to be a really good resource for anybody that's interested in learning about raw foods and learning about how to incorporate them into their lifestyle in a practical way.
Great. Well, if you need an introduction to Bob, let me know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that for sure. Thank you.
And people can follow you on Instagram if they like.
Perfect. That would be awesome.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. Even though it's been a few years, you were certainly worth the wait.
Well, thank you. It was certainly worth the wait for me too. You know, I love your show and I love everything that you do. So I am just gracious and appreciative that you invited me on, and I'm happy to be connected with you. So thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. Getting the world to eat more salads. And that is very generous. Everybody, because if you're watching this in the replay, you're not going to get this deal. So please grab that book right now while you can, and maybe consider watching live, because we often have surprises like this. Thanks again, Matt. It was such a nice demonstration.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back in less than an hour when we have another demonstration from another fabulous chef. Hannah Kaminsky has a new book, and she is going to be making a recipe for it. Take care, Matt. Bye.
Thank you.